Hey guys, it's Wayne Santos, one of the editors over here at CGM. Getting over a cold, so you'll have to forgive the somewhat nasal quality of this delivery. Today we're going to talk about something that I've got some mixed feelings about, Irrational Games, or more specifically the fact that Irrational Games is no longer happening. Okay, so the story for you guys that haven't been following, Ken Levine, I'm really never sure how you pronounce his last name. He has recently announced that Irrational Games, the company which is responsible for giving us, BioShock and BioShock Infinite, is going to be shuttering its doors, sort of. What's going on is that Ken himself would like to create smaller, games which follow more closely his artistic vision. So what's going to be happening is the vast majority of Irrational Games is being let go, and in exchange 15 core members are going to be kept around while everybody else is going to be looking for other jobs. Now, we've already got companies like Microsoft stepping in and saying we'll do what we can to have these BioShock developers have a home and all that. But for me, the real issue that that this boils down to is, while I respect Ken's desire to follow his artistic vision, on the other hand, I've got mixed feelings about the whole thing, because he was a man that was in charge of a fairly successful company which had a very large staff, and the staff, they had financial obligations, they had people that had families that they were looking after, and now these guys are being let go and they're being forced to find other jobs, except for this core 15 that get to stick with Ken and follow whatever new dream it is that he wants to chase after. Now, while I've got no problems with any artist being true to their vision, I do think that this could have been handled another way, in such a fashion that all of these guys didn't suddenly find themselves out of a job. Like, for example, we have John Carmack. John Carmack decided that he did not want to stick around with id any longer because he was more interested in Oculus Rift. So rather than simply shutter id, he quit and went over to Oculus Rift himself. Now, I'm not saying that Ken had to actually just drop everything and go off and start an indie company himself, but it seems to me that with the kind of clout that he must have had with 2K Games, it probably would not have been unlikely for him to simply say, I'm going to start a smaller team, much in the same way that Ubisoft is doing, for example, where Patrick Plourde, who came off of Assassin's Creed 2 and Far Cry 3, he simply decided, I wanted to work on a smaller project, and Ubisoft was like, okay, go do that. It did not require that Ubisoft Montreal had to be shut down just because he wanted to work on something smaller. Now, with Ken, and with Irrational Games, obviously we don't have the full story. There could have been many other factors that were leading up to this, but that still doesn't change the fact that, aside from that core 15 team, you've got a lot of other people who are now living in very uncertain times and having to find new places to work, which probably involves transplanting their lives, perhaps their entire families. I really feel bad for these guys, and while it's like I congratulate Ken on wanting to go off and do his own thing, it's really unfortunate that so many people had to suffer for it, and I'm still convinced that there may have been some other way to go about it. So to Ken, it's like, good on you. It's like, make sure that you produce great games, because this is why you did this. But it's like, next time, maybe be a little more mindful of the responsibilities you have to the people that are under you. See ya.